Yeah, so when creating this short film alongside my colleagues, we wanted to tell a story that was like worth telling, that's something we found like very appealing and something we wanted like the people to get their minds to, we want people to reflect upon this topic. So when creating like a new story, a new project, a new short film, so we wanted to tackle a story that could be told during that time frame.
Well, the original concept came from a friend of mine. His name is Aaron Villaseñor. He's the one that came up with the concept of a young woman fighting the witch of the forest. And he wanted to turn that idea into a story. So he came with me. He told me that he wanted me to direct it. And so we worked together with the script, and I liked the idea so much that it eventually turned into a feature length script. Of course, a feature film is much more difficult to film, so we decided to take it easy for the moment and keep it as a short story, a short film. Yeah.
So I think I like noirish films, dark films, films without happy endings. So not too dark. But that was one thing. I think the second thing is in terms of scripts, I needed something short because if I'm going to go back into filmmaking, I didn't want to do anything complicated. I'm kind of a minimalist. So it's like, let me just take a very simple story with a simple set design, one actor, a short script to just really focus on key details and versus doing, 10 locations, four actors, it's just like, it's not really feasible. And I work full time. So I just wanted to have a minimalist setup to really focus on it and carve out something that I think is special and really, just helps me focus on making all those details stand out.
Fulgores nace de mis miedos alrededor de la idea de la paternidad. Cuando empezamos a escribirlo hace ya más de 10 años, yo me imaginaba a mí mismo en ese papel egoísta y sin la capacidad de dar como el afecto y la atención que necesita un niño pequeño. Matías de alguna forma es una representación del niño pequeño que yo siento que no pude ser. Y Lucía es un avatar también de los propios errores y fallos que yo cometí como hijo ahora, no como padre, durante un periodo de mucha crisis en mi familia, pues con eso fue con lo que yo estuve trabajando.
Well, that's a funny story. Pre-production took around 3 months, and then production took around 5 weeks. Post-production took around 2 years to finish. The main reason for this is because the people working in post-production was myself, some other colleagues, that we were doing this for the love of it. So we had to, at the same time as making the film, as doing the VFX for the film, we had to work in other things that actually gave us, a pay.
Fulgores se escribió en el 2015, pero no empezamos la producción como 2018, 2019. Fueron como 5 o 6 años de trabajo más o menos.
Before you animate, which is like a process you do in a software, and it is fun, but before you do that, there is actually a version of this short film that is live action because you have to act the whole film in because of like the time frame that you have to work with for music and etc. But also because as animators, for example, I animated like a most part of the film, the whole desert part with the characters and everything. And for that, you need to portray the humanity of your acting and of the way of thinking of the characters and what they are living. You have to portray it in the animation. Like it's not just getting the character to move. That's not animating it. That's just uh, visual graphics.
I think the only thing that I can say was difficult was that we were in a basement. And so the sound posed a challenge because there was a lot of echoes. But fortunately, we did a pre-check, and our sound mixer, um, awesome guy, he was very proactive, and he brought a whole bunch of C-stands and blankets and sound boxes to help with the sound. And he pretty much saved the day with that. So
I learned that story is the king of the production. So it is like the most important part that you have to tackle, you know? And after I did this short film in projects that I have done before and projects that I will do in the future, I have like developed this philosophy that I think for myself as a storyteller, the stories that are like more worth telling are the ones that we all can identify with, you know? Because we all have like very different complex lives. We all live, we all die, we all have relationships, we all have goals, we all have aspirations and difficult situations in our lives. And that's what we live in the everyday. So yeah, you can make a story about like an amazing life experience and you can entertain people with it and it's gonna be great. But the stories that I like to tell the most are the ones that you enhance the attractiveness of the everyday life, you know?
yeah, so I think some things I needed to get reacquainted with is you never have enough time for pre-production because there's so much planning needed. Um, and how critical it is to work with a good actor, how important it is to have that trust with him because in essence, I really didn't direct him too much because he's professional and I like the style. I just gave him full trust. He had carte blanche to do, you know, whatever he wanted in terms of interpreting the character. I didn't have to block him much. So I think that's critical. And I think another lesson is just staying in your swim lane because I had done a lot of assistant director work. I'm extremely organized, but if I'm directing, I can't really occupy both roles. But I kept wanting to AD, and it's like I couldn't. I had to just stick to directing. So those are, I'd say, key lessons I learned.
Do actually have people working for the film that you pay for them? I mean, because I was working in post production for the film for the love of it, and that's the reason why it took so long to finish. So next time I'm going to figure out a way to just put my efforts completely into the film and not have other projects taking time from it. That's what I would take as a lesson.
Lo más importante fue aprender a ser muy paciente, no tanto con los otros, la verdad es que el equipo de trabajo siempre fue más bien una fuente constante de inspiración, pero pues conmigo mismo, con los tiempos tan largos que suele tener la animación, con respecto a las otras cintas, tengo muchas ganas de poder ver también toda la producción que han estado haciendo y estoy muy emocionado de participar aquí con todos ustedes.